Another memory that I have when we were in Florida visiting Nana, and I think I was, I don't know, I was probably like 14 or 15 in this memory, and it was probably just us, the three of us, me, you, and Mom in Florida at that time. Amanda might have been there, but she wasn't around as I remember during this time. But you knew that I was a big Beatles fan. I still am, you still know that. Big Beatles fan here. And somehow you found out, you'd probably just been reading the paper that morning, but you found out that a car that had belonged to John Lennon had been bought by somebody there in Pensacola, and he actually owned a nursing home, and he parked it outside of the nursing home. And somebody in the story, and I think that's just where it lived, outside of the nursing home, and somebody in the paper, the Pensacola paper, had done a story on it, just kind of talking to the owner of the nursing home, talking to him about why he bought it and when he bought it. I think he was just a Beatles fan too, and it was just a cool thing to have. And it was a beautiful car by itself. It was a 60s Rolls Royce. As I recall, it was white. But you and I, you found it, you read it in the paper, you brought it to me, and you said, hey, look, this guy in Pensacola owns a car that belonged to John Lennon. And I, of course, thought that was super cool. And so you figured out where the nursing home was, and you took me there, you and me. We went up there, we drove over, and we stood in front of it, and we took pictures. And, you know, honestly, that car could have not belonged to John Lennon, but I wouldn't have known, and I was so happy to see it and stand next to something that John Lennon wrote in. And I know I took pictures. I thought it was super cool, but I still think it's really cool too that you saw something in the paper that you knew would mean something to me, even if it was kind of an extra job for you to drive me out there and take pictures. But you wanted to see me experience something that I would think was really cool and always remember. And that's what we did. We went out and we looked at it and we took pictures, and I'll never forget it. But I'll never forget it not because I saw a car that belonged to John Lennon, but because my dad saw the car that belonged to John Lennon and knew that that would mean a lot to me, and took a moment to take me to see it. And that I'll never forget it, and it meant a lot.